Hey everyone, this is Pete Mason from Advantage Rehab. I want to give you a quick presentation that I'm titling Weight Training for Runners, Load Matters. And we're looking at a single article that came out last year that talks about a weight training program and its effects. The study was a strength training program to prevent injuries in runners of the New York City Marathon. Authored by Torresdal in October, came out in the Sports Health Multidisciplinary Approach journal. So why did they do this study? They wanted to know if hip abduction and quadriceps strengthening was effective at reducing injuries in novice runners, because these exercises are frequently prescribed to runners to reduce injuries. The participants that they looked at were all first-time marathon runners, aged 18 and older. 720 runners were enrolled. 583 started the marathon, and 579 went on to complete it. In terms of interventions, 12 weeks before the marathon, participants were randomized into a strength training group or an observation group. The strength training group was instructed to perform a 10-minute routine 3 times weekly using written and video instruction. The program targeted the quadriceps, hip abductors, and core muscle groups. I'll show you the exercises in the next screen. You can also see the exercises if you follow the link here. Injuries were self-reported through biweekly surveys, with major injuries being those that resulted in marathon non-completion. Minor injuries were those that simply impaired training or race performance. Here's a look at the exercises that they did in the program. So you see, got a front plank, side plank, a single Romanian deadlift, single leg Romanian deadlift, single leg lunges, and squats. These are just screenshots from the program that you can get to by following that link on the previous slide. So what happened? The incidence of major injury was 8.9% and minor injury was 48.5% in these groups. 52 of 64 major injuries were overuse, and that kind of becomes the focal point of the author's conclusions. 20 of those were bone stress injuries. The incidence of overuse injury resulting in marathon non-completion was 7.1% in the strength training group and 7.3% in the observation group. So not a real big difference between the two groups. Nor was there a big difference in the finishing times. As you can see here, about 5 hours for strength training, 4 hours for the observation, and the overlap puts them essentially the same. What the authors concluded based on that information was that there's a high prevalence of injury among first-time marathoners, not surprising, and that this particular self-directed strength training program did not decrease overuse injuries and marathon non-completion. Clinical relevance of that is that prevention strategies like strength training need to be developed and evaluated through clinical trials to reduce overuse injuries in runners, especially for first-time marathoners. The conclusion that I draw from this study is really that this program was probably ineffective because it was not loaded. When we talk about doing strengthening exercises proper, we need to be adding more than body weight as a load. Exercises with body weight really mimic the demands of running, and that's something that we already do a lot of. So lifting weights, adding a higher load, is a great way to build diversity into your exercise portfolio. It can increase durability and economy. I'm going to leave it there for now because I'm going to pick that thought up in one of the next presentations that we do. Talk about how much weight we need to be adding as runners, and why simply doing body weight exercises is probably not going to be sufficient to induce changes that are going to keep us injury-free. So I hope that that's what you take from this. Don't stop cross-training. Don't stop weight training. We'll pick up this conversation again, but think about adding weight to what you do, and we'll talk about how as you move forward here. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you on the trails.